And we're going to be talking about bones and skeletal tissue. In the video, I'm specifically going to be sharing with you guys about skeletal cartilage, the anatomy of long bones, and osteogenesis.
And I'm going to be talking about bone classification, microscopic structure of a bone, components of osseous tissue.
I'm going to be talking about bone functions and the anatomy of short, flat, and irregular bones.
First, we're going to talk about skeletal cartilage. There's three types of skeletal cartilage. There's hyaline. Hyaline consists of three different types of cartilage. There's costal, which connects the ribs to the sternum. There's nasal, which is found in your nose. And there is respiratory, which keeps your airway open. The second we're going to talk about is elastic cartilage. This is found in the external ear and the epiglottis. Thirdly is fibrocartilage. You can find that in vertebral discs, your pubic symphysis, and the meniscus of the knee.
So the second thing we're going to talk about is bone classification. There's a couple ways to classify bones. First, we can classify them by axial versus appendicular. So axial bones are your vertebrae and everything attached to them. And appendicular would be your arms and your legs and bones that attach them to your body. You can also classify them by shape. We have long bones, which are bones that are longer than they are wide, your femur and your tibia. We have short bones, which are your carpals, your wrist bones, and tarsals, which are in your ankle. And we also have sesamoid bones, which are bones that are shaped like sesame seeds. For example, your patella, down here. And then you can also classify them in shape by your flat bones, which are bones in your skull, and your sternum. And then we also have irregular bones, which are your coxal bones, your hip bones, and your vertebrae.
There are 5 main functions of bones. The first one being support, which is allowing the bones to support your body. The second one being protection, which is allowing the protection from all of your organs in the inside of the bones. The third one being movement, which is allowing the anchoring points for your muscles. The fourth one being your mineral storage, which is allowing our bones to store our calcium. And our fifth one being blood cell formation, which is allowing our bones to make blood cells.
The next thing we're going to talk about is the microscopic structure of a bone. So in a compact bone, you would have what's called an osteon. An osteon would be one of these whole circles. Now, 3D version of an osteon would be these right here. These walls are called lamellae. Lamellae are wall of bones. There's 2 types. There's concentric lamellae, which is this right here in the osteon, little circles. And then we have interstitial lamellae, and we also have circumferential lamellae. Circumferential lamellae is going to be the wall of bones around on the outside of the bone. We also have lacunae, which are spaces filled with osteocytes. Those are going to be right here. On the osteocytes, we have canaliculi, which are passageways for nutrients to get to the osteocytes. The osteocytes are those dark circles over here. Caniculi would be the little legs on them. Kind of look like spiders. Then we have spongy bone, and in spongy bone, we would find what's called trabeculae. And that's going to be these little holes in the bone right there. We also have 2 types of canals. There's central canals, which are these canals that go straight down the osteon. And then we have perforating canals, which are canals that go through the side of the bone and bring in blood from the side. Both of these are blood vessels that bring in blood.
So let's talk specifically about bone structure. There's 2 types of bone structures. There's compact bone and spongy bone. So compact bone are thin sheets of of smooth bone, and those cover the outsides of all bones. And then you have spongy bone, which is on the ends of the bone, and those have lots of holes in them. If you look at it, it really does look like an actual sponge. And so in a long bone, there's different types of anatomy. There's the diaphyses of the bone, which is the middle of the bone, and then there's the epiphyses, which is the ends of the bone. Also in long bones, you have membranes. So membranes, there's two types specifically for bones. You have the periosteum. That is the membrane that covers the bone. So here in this picture, that would be this black line right here, the membrane covering the outside of the bone. And then you also have the endosteum, which is the membrane inside of the bone. And in this membrane, you have osteoblasts and you have osteoclasts.
So we just talked about the anatomy of long bones, and now we're going to talk about the anatomy of short, flat, and irregular bones. In all of these irregular, flat, and short bones, there is thin compact bone plates on the outside and spongy bone on the inside. In the flat bone, there's diplo, which is what makes spongy bone spongy. And then also in a flat bone is red bone marrow. And in all three of these bones, there is no shaft or cavity.
So components of osseous tissue consist of organic components and inorganic components. For organic components, we have osteoids, which are made up of ground substance and collagen fibers. We also have cells that are organic components, and they consist of osteoblasts. Osteoblasts are bone cells that build bone. We have osteocytes, which are bone cells that maintain the bony matrix, and we have osteoclasts, which tear down the bony matrix. Now for inorganic components, we have calcium phosphate.
There's 4 steps for intramembranous ossification. Step 1. As the cartilage enlarges through appositional and interstitial growth, chondrocytes near the center of the shaft increase greatly in size. The matrix is reduced to a series of small struts that soon begin to calcify. The enlarged chondrocytes then die and disintegrate, leaving cavities within the cartilage. Step 2. Blood vessels grow around the edges of the cartilage, and the cells of the perichondrium convert to osteoblasts. The shaft of the cartilage then becomes ensheathed in a superficial layer of bone. The third step. Blood vessels penetrate the cartilage and invade the central region. Fibroblasts migrating with the blood vessels differentiate into osteoblasts and begin producing spongy bone at a primary ossification center. Bone formation then spreads along the shaft towards both ends. The last step, remodeling occurs. As growth continues, creating a marrow cavity, the bone of the shaft becomes thicker, and the cartilage near each epiphysis is replaced by the shaft of the bone. Further growth involves increases in both length and diameter. So in talking about osteogenesis, the main thing you want to take away from intramembranous ossification is that it always starts with a membrane, where on the other hand, endochondral ossification always starts with hyaline cartilage.